they're so tiny, you know, and like they're petite. But there's so many, like...
So many what?
Like so many of little petals. Isn't that so pretty? So cute.
Hello lovelies, I hope you're doing well. I am sending you so much love and light. It's been a while. I think it's been 7 months since I filmed something. But I just woke up and I really wanted to make a little video, so I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, I definitely want to start doing the YouTubes again. Today, I really wanted to chat a little bit about something that's been on my mind a lot lately, which is happiness. Something that gets overlooked a lot, I think. I noticed that a lot of people aren't happy, and that a lot of people think that they will be happy once they get XYZ, you know, once they've gotten that job, once they become rich, then it's once I retire. It's always, this is something I'm putting off till later. But what I've really discovered, a quote I've been loving, is the grass isn't greener on the other side, the grass is greener where you water it. And that's so true. Like, happiness doesn't just come, it's something that you have to nurture, you know? And just like the different seasons, it takes different nurture sometimes. Sometimes it's super easy, super natural, super light, like the summer. And sometimes it's a bit harder. Sometimes it's the winter and you got to dig those little flowers out, put them inside, and take extra good care of them. But happiness is just like that. It's not just going to appear once you get XYZ. Once you get XYZ, you're going to say, oh no, I'm going to be happier actually when I get even more than that. So I've been really, for the past few months, figuring out how I can achieve more happiness in my life? Not even necessarily doing more things, but seeing different perspectives. So I'm really excited to tell you guys my reflections. I really hope that some of this brings happiness into your life. That would make me the happiest human ever. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. The first thing that's been bringing me a lot of happiness is enjoying the little things. What I mean by this is really like those little baby things, like going outside, seeing the sun, and just looking up at it and smiling and being grateful for it, or seeing a random stranger do an act of service and really thinking, wow, like, that's great. Or seeing a flower crackling through the ground, and really looking at it and being like, whoa, that's so cool that that flower could just grow there. These little things are really what make up that daily happiness. Noticing these things is what's going to make you happier on the inside and also radiate happiness more on the outside, which in the grand scheme of things all builds up on top of itself to create your overall happiness. What's so funny about this thing is, you know, the sun's gonna shine, the flower's gonna go through the crack, but until we notice it, we don't appreciate it fully. Like, I remember when I was younger, I really wanted pink hair. I really wanted pink hair. And once I started thinking about how much I wanted pink hair, I started noticing people who had pink hair, and suddenly it seemed like there was a really big amount of people who had pink hair. In reality, it's not that in those last 2 days that I was thinking about it, everyone went to go dye their hair pink. No, it's just that I was consciously noticing it. And so I started seeing everyone with pink hair. Just like happiness, it's there. Even on those really hard days, it's there. We just have to notice it. that's been a really big game changer for me. Another thing that's been helping me a lot is I've been watching this podcast, Confident and Killing It, by Tiwa Ogunlacey, and she does this thing. I signed up for a mailing list that's called the Monthly Wins Tracker. Now, not gonna lie, like, it's hard for me to sit down and do this all the time. Sometimes slips my mind, but I want to create a tiny version of this for you right now, for us. So basically what this calendar is exactly what it sounds like, to track your wins, track the things that you did well that month, whether that be I did a TED Talk, or whether that be really hard shit happened to me this month and I was able to get out of bed. Whatever it is for you, totally cool, totally fine. So let's do a mini version of that for this week. What are 3 things that you're proud of yourself for this week? I want you to think about it, to journal it, pause this video for a sec, and then come back. Welcome back. So when I started doing this, at first I felt silly and kind of cocky, and that was also told to me. When I told someone about this, they were like, isn't that kind of cocky? And you know, the answer I have to that, hun, is no. Like, if you're not going to celebrate yourself, if you're not going to celebrate your wins, who is? If you're not going to see your worth, who is? So think about how that made you feel for a sec. It probably made you feel a bit like, oh, I am doing good, and that's great. That's great, and I really think that this should be something that's acknowledged more when we are doing good, when we are proud of ourselves, even for the little things. And this really helps, I think, boost our confidence a bit and allow us to have more energy and be more happier with ourselves, more happier with how things are. So try that out when you feel could be useful. Another thing that's been crucial is finding peace with everything. This one has been a task. It's been hard. I'm getting there. Still working on it, but I'm getting there. So obviously, not everything in life is daisies and sunflowers. It's not easy to always find everything amazing in everything. Like, we have to do all these normal human things, you know, like taxes or a course that we don't like, chores, all of these things, you know, not the most fun, probably won't ever be the most fun, but when we start finding peace with them, we're able to not let those things really bring us down. Because I know for me, when there's something I'm really dreading or that I don't want to do, I spend just as much, if not more time dreading it, and then post the thing that I had to do, being annoyed at it, being upset at it, being like, that ruined my day. And what ruined the day isn't actually the thing, but it's me thinking about it that way. Whereas what I've been trying to do now is kind of shift that to, all right, there's this thing that I have to do. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. How can I find peace with that? For example, I'm doing my Dutch driver's license. I already have a driver's license. I've been through the whole process in the US. However, in Europe, a US driver's license isn't valid. Now, of course, I spent many months being very upset at this, which did nothing, just made me more stressed out. And then eventually I kind of just came to terms with it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this license. Started the classes. Horrible. I would always dread it. I would be frustrated at it. I didn't want to study for the exam. This made it feel like my driver's license was this huge thing that I had to stress over. It was taking my energy, and I just decided I didn't want that anymore. It was making me like not want to study, so I didn't study so well when I did. Made me, just hate the lessons, everything. So now what I do is I try to find the little good things in it. For example, in the lessons, my driving instructor is super sweet, you know? We're completely different, but he's a really nice guy. He tells me about his family and the flowers he's planting in his yard, and he's super sweet. So I really lucked out with that. Or when I go driving and the sun is shining and I'm like, all right, it's like I'm like going on a little road trip, but I'm staying here. Or really thinking about the catalyst it is for me. Yes, it sucks to study for it, but this is going to allow me to drive in Europe. This is going to allow me to go on road trips, and that gets me really excited. Or yeah, sometimes it's hard. Like, I actually recently failed. I tried to do the written part for the first time. I failed it. It's all good. It happens. At first I was really frustrated, which then made me not study, made me be upset at the people who made the exam. And then I kind of took a step back and I was like, all right, it's fine. You didn't pass it. You're taking an exam where they don't help you at all with your dyslexia and ADD. They don't do any accommodations. In a different country, the book is this thick. It's fine. And once I was able to do that and start thinking, okay, why do I want to study? You know, because of the reasons that I mentioned, and how can I make studying better? So now I always study at this for a cafe, and I have this fun little quiz app. And it's made it bearable. I found peace with it. Is it the most exciting thing in the world? No. Will it ever be? No. But I found peace with it. And now that portion of my life doesn't bring me dread. It adds to my happiness. So I think that's been a really big lesson for me in the last few months. Making space for happiness. Like we said before, happiness doesn't just bloop come. You have to create it. You have to nurture it. And you have to figure out within yourself what nurtures your happiness. So for me, that's spending time with people that I love, that's going on adventures, that's planning some fun travels, that's taking Saturdays off, that's something I need, that's having fun plans, and really taking that as not an extra but a need. In order to work my best, I need to have this bit of happiness. And it's so true. When we take that away, not only are we going to be less happy, but we're actually not going to be able to do so well in our work, in our schooling, because we're going to be on a lower frequency than we could be. So Saturdays off, that's a huge thing for me. I need to take Saturdays off. Some of you may sound super normal. I go to a university where everyone is really entrenched in it, and it kind of feels like that's the biggest thing that life is. And when I tell people that I take Saturdays off, they look at me shocked. And they say, oh, I wish I could do that, but I don't have the time. I get that. I have dyslexia and ADD. Everything takes me 2 times longer. I also am a bit of a perfectionist. So I get that it feels that way, but really, you can make space for anything you want in your life. And I know that's maybe hard to hear, and maybe you'll have a bit of resistance and be like, no, but I really have a lot. And I totally hear you. I'm sure you genuinely do have a lot. But it's still possible to make that time. How? Scheduling. I always say schedules bring me freedom, because before I would take Saturdays off, I just kind of had this thing where I was like, all right, study. You have to do all these things all the time. So I would study from 8 in the morning until 8 at night, but kind of on and off, like taking these really long breaks, being on my phone and studying, and just feeling like it's an ongoing cycle. Now I'm pretty strict on myself on taking those Saturdays off, which recharges me. During the week, I work so much better because I say, oh, I have Saturday off. If I want Saturday off, I have to work now. And I get excited about it, which gives me energy because I'm honoring my own happiness and what I need. And also, I finish at 6. Now, of course, you know, there's some wiggle room. Sometimes I have a big assignment, I have to work a little bit later. But definitely finding those things that bring you joy, that you need, and honoring them and finding a way to make space for them in all times. So nature is another big one for me. Nature is like food to me. Like, it just nurtures me so much. But sometimes when I'm really busy, I feel like I don't have time. But the truth is, again, you can make the time. Even if it's just a 20-minute walk, after that 20-minute walk, you're going to feel so good, so recharged, because you really took a second for yourself. You took a second for your happiness. So it's going to bring you to a higher frequency inside. It's going to make you reflect that on the outside, and it's going to make you be more efficient in whatever you're trying to do. And then a few more little things. One thing is, I really believe that our thoughts become our beliefs become our actions, and our actions become our results. So if you want to feel a certain way, I think it's really helpful to say it, to do it. So for example, in the morning, I always wake up and I say, today's gonna be a great day. And it makes me smile, and I like to think also my boyfriend sleeps over a lot, and I always wake him up. I always wake up first, and I wake him up just being like, hey, look, the sun's shining. Today's gonna be a great day. Even if it's not a special day, this just really sets you up to have that, to say kind of, hey, I want to look for this today. Just like the pink hair we were talking about before. I want to find these people with pink hair. And then your brain's like, all right, let's do that. That's another little thing that really helps me, really calling out for it. Or if you want something, saying, I will make time for my friends tonight, and I will ask someone if they want to hang out tonight, and I will make that plan, and I will not cancel on it, because that's going to add to my happiness. Then the last thing is dancing. So for me, dancing just makes me so freaking happy. Like, I love dancing to Afrobeat and reggaeton. That really just like makes my soul go on fire. So dancing just really helps to lift the mood. It gets your body moving in a loving way. You're listening to something you love. But also, if you want to go a little bit deeper with that, something that I like to do sometimes is dance with the chakras that are misaligning inside of me. So each chakra aligns with a certain feeling, a certain emotion, a certain state. For example, the heart chakra is green, and the heart chakra is really all about emotion. So when I'm feeling off balance with my emotions, not so good, then I like to dance, like using this area, thinking about green, like going outside, and that green that maybe is feeling a bit misplaced, finding harmony within my body while I'm dancing, finding harmony within the dancing. I know this may sound a little hippy-dippy to people. That's totally fine. Maybe it is a little hippy-dippy, but I love it. It helps me a lot. And I would really recommend it. It's super fun, super imaginative, really fun for the inner child too. These are a few things that have been really helping me with my happiness. I hope that one of these things gives you a little bit joy, you're excited to try it out, you integrate it in your life. Please let me know if any of these things helped. I am sending you so much love. I'm wishing you a beautiful day, and I am excited to be back on here and spend some time with you soon. Ciao!